Let's talk about what has been going on in Ballymena. We've had 3 nights of riots now. We've had local people taking to the streets to concerned about a sexual assault on a 14-year-old girl. 2 14-year-old boys who cannot be named, of course, because of the age, appeared in court, denied charges of the sexual assault. But they needed a Romanian translator in court, clearly not locals. Those riots have spread from, well, a peaceful vigil initially to 3 nights of unrest, including attacks, fireworks thrown, bricks thrown at police, and attacks on a leisure centre where some Romanian families had been taken for their own safety. Well, let's talk about all of this now with Paul Frew. He's a MLA, a member of the Assembly of the DUP for North Antrim, and joins us now. Good morning to you, Paul.
Good morning, Julia.
Thank you for joining us. Now, in terms of this event, I mean, I've just seen the initial reports. It's like these are just racist thugs. They're on the streets. That's what's happening, and that's the reason for these riots. Is that a full explanation of what's going on?
I think damage is done when people generalise the issues here, because they are very, very complicated. Let me first of all state that violence is wrong. It needs to stop, and it needs to stop now. It is serving absolutely no strategic purpose. It is drowning out the sympathy and support that thousands of people gave to the victims of sexual crime. I've campaigned for many years around violence against women and girls, and you know, we support those families as best we can, but this is drowning out that sympathy and support for those victims, and so the violence must stop.
It doesn't really serve any purpose. I mean, we should all condemn violence, and again, the targeting of people simply because of their nationality, families, were absolutely outrageous. I'm sure every right-minded person would agree. But the yobs who are currently on the streets, they are sometimes, some may be representative of local feeling, others most likely not. But there is still, nevertheless, among people who are not taking part in those riots, people who have not committed any criminal acts, massive concern, isn't there, about the scale of immigration, legal and illegal, to the local area. Tell us about the impact of that.
So this has been a concern for many years, and I've been raising it for many years, but I have noticed a rising of tension and fear in my community here in Ballymena for a number of months now, and a number of weeks. That has been heightened further. And people have been frightened to walk down their streets, to leave work, to socialise, to meet friends. And it is really worrying and concerning for people and for families. And that goes for everyone here in Ballymena. And I think that has to be articulated, and I think that has to be illustrated, and then something has to be done to assuage that concern and fear.
And this is the concern, isn't it? This is very similar to what happened post-Southport, the horrific attack by Axel Ruder-Cabana on those little girls at that Taylor Swift-themed summer camp. Is that lots of misinformation, lots of just dismissing everybody as just a racist, far-right thug, and that their concerns were not genuine, whereas actually an awful lot of law-abiding people would never dream of picking up a brick or setting fire or intimidating anyone in their local community. They share the same concerns. We understand in particular this sexual assault on a young girl that's been alleged, the 2 boys who've denied involvement, they're accused of attempted oral rape. I mean, as a mum of a teenager, I've got to be honest with you, your heart sinks at this. But this isn't the first alleged sexual assault of a teenage girl in the last few weeks, is it, in the area?
Yeah, and this has basically been a trigger, if you like.
Oh, sorry, Paul, I can't hear you. I think your microphone has dipped or...
Sorry, can you hear me now?
I've got you back, yes.
Sorry about that. So yes, this has been a concern in the local community for a number of weeks now, where we've had a spate of attacks. Now, don't get me wrong, I've been campaigning against violence of women and girls for many, many years, and there's many, many different types of perpetrators.
Yeah,
so
so
that has to be said. But there is a massive issue here with regards to concentrated immigration, I believe, illegal immigration, and the processes around asylum seeking. And I think that if this is generalised into foreigners versus racist, then we are failing everybody. And also we aren't getting to grips with the problems with concentrated migration, because I know for sure that those immigrants who come in to Northern Ireland are also being exploited. And some of them are being exploited by organised crime from their own countries.
Yeah.
And so there's a massive issue with that. There's a massive issue with the process for asylum. There's a massive issue around, obviously asylum seekers can't work, but they're being forced to work by would-be gangmasters who have set up brothels and other unsavoury and illegal establishments. And so these are issues that we're not really grappling with.
And the authorities again and again just sort of just don't, like they did with the grooming gangs across most of the UK. We just don't want to know. It's all a bit too uncomfortable.
And I think they don't realise the scale. And so I think there is they're frightened. Nearly government agencies are frightened to tackle this issue because of how organised it is, and how large the problem is. And we need to get to grips with this. And if we need to shine a light on those practices that hurt communities and also people who move into the area, human beings who want for one reason or to move into this area, if they're being exploited, we need to know about it, and so do the police.
Absolutely. And in terms of just one sentence, if you wouldn't mind, we're going to top of the hour, are we expecting there going to be more trouble tonight?
I fear that there will be. This will keep going on, and I have to support the police in their actions, trying to protect people and property. So my heart goes out to all the police officers, especially those that have been hurt. And the violence must stop. The violence must stop.
Absolutely. Paul Frew, DP MLA for North Antrim, including Ballymena in his constituency. Thank you very much, Dee, for that.